Okay, so now we're dealing with absolute value inequalities. Got the absolute value thing, but the earlier ones were just saying equals something, and this is actually now an inequality. And so we handle this slightly differently, but many of the first steps are the same. The first thing we have to do is we've got to get it down to just the absolute value part without anything happening outside. You can see that this one's already like that. Okay, but if there was any multiplier being divided, anything added or subtracted, we'd have to undo that so that we just had absolute value bars. Okay? Once we get to this, this is what we do. We're splitting it apart. Okay? Just like we did when it was equals, but here we do something, just one extra little thing. Okay? Take what's inside, and you write the inequality the way that it's written, that direction that it's written, with the number that's given. Okay? Again, take what's inside, write the absolute value, and what's on the other side exactly as written. Okay? That's the first thing we do. Then we do it again where we take what's inside, 9x, except this time we do two changes to it. We turn this to the other direction and we make this negative. So we turn this like this and we make that a negative 27. Okay? So for absolute value inequalities, once you get it down to just the absolute value bars and nothing else going on outside, you take what's inside, you write the inequality the same way it is, you take the number on the other side, same way it is. Stay the same, stay the same. Okay? For the first one, they both stay the same. For the next one, you take what's inside, again, but this time you now change both. You change the direction of the inequality and you change it from a positive to a negative. And now we're solving these each separately. Okay? 9x divided by 9 greater than or equal to 27 divided by 9. Or x greater than or equal to 3. Okay? And for this one, divide by 9, divide by 9, and we get x is less than or equal to negative 3. Okay, this is a two-part. Would be written as like this or this, okay, because let's do the first part. Put an endpoint at 3. I got to label the points here. Let's say that this is 0, 1, 2, 3, like that. And this is negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. Negative 5. Okay, so we have x is greater than or equal to 3. So we've got an endpoint at 3, and it's filled in because it says or equals, right? And x is all the values greater than that or equal to that. Greater than that or equal to that. So let's finish filling that in. Greater than that. Like that. Okay? For this one, it says x is less than or equal to negative 3. So we have an endpoint at negative 3. And it does say or equals, so we fill it in. And it says values for x is less than that. Where's less than that? Like that. Okay, and that's what that looks like. So we'll do another one. Okay. Absolute value of d minus 3 is greater than or equal to 2. Like I said, if there's anything happening outside the absolute value bars, you have to undo that first, but there isn't. In this case, there's nothing happening outside. It's just absolute value of d minus 3 on that side, right? Okay, and so what we're allowed to do now, what we need to do now is we need to take what's inside, d minus 3, and we need to write this absolute value symbol the same way it is, and this number that's on the other side the same way it is. Greater than or equal to 2. Now we're going to do the same thing again where we take the inside expression, d minus 3. Only this time we're going to make those two changes. We're going to change the direction of this, and we're going to turn this to its opposite number, negative 2. So we change the direction, and we make it negative 2. Now we've got to solve both of them. Plus 3, d is greater than or equal to 5, or, oops, plus 3, d is less than or equal to 1. Okay? So if I was going to label our points here, or label our number line rather. We've got an endpoint at 5, and it does say or equals, so we fill it in. We've got an endpoint at 1, and it does say or equals, so we fill that in. Okay. Let's start with the endpoint of 5, this first one over here. D is values greater than that. That. Okay. Let's look at this one. Endpoint of 1, D is values less than 1, less than or equals to 1. So that looks like this. That's it. That's how you graph them. So again, to recap, if there was anything happening outside the absolute value bars, you undo that first. And then once you get to that point, you take what's inside and you write the absolute value symbol the same and that number the same. Do it again where you write what's inside, only this time you make the absolute value change direction and you also make it be a negative number. Okay? Good luck.